Hello and welcome back to Miss Craftsalot's Lair. I am Barbie, an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States. I am here today to show you how to make this simple card. I was looking for something that was jars that I could show off the new watercolor pencils while doing, and this is what I came up with, something easy for beginner stampers, but yet pretty enough for advanced stampers. So let me show you how to make this. Super simple. I am using the medium jar and the Hello stamp from the Jars of Love stamp set. I am using basic black archival stamp pad. The watercolor pencils. And of the watercolor pencils, I am using Pacific Point, Rich Razzleberry, and Melon Mambo. The Aqua Painter, the larger of the two. For the crumb cake sheet we're using today, I am using 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2, and I will just go ahead and fold that in half. I'm sorry if that was out of range, but it's 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. And a piece of watercolor paper that is 3 3/4 inches by 5 1/2 inches. Super simple, super fast. Like I said, perfect for beginning stampers. I was wanting to stamp these jars kind of more towards the top, but even I was having an issue with it, so I thought beginner stampers would not get, it would be something to discourage beginner stampers. So I am going to stamp this first one right in the middle on the bottom. Stamp a second one off to the side. And then stamp one more on the other side. I've already mentioned to you guys how I love the number 3 when it comes to my stamping. So you see a lot of 3s when I am working with my stamps. And then I have the Hello already on a block. And just put that off in the corner-ish. Not quite corner, but definitely not in the middle. So that is what we have so far for stamps. And we are done with the basic black. Now, the fun part, the watercolor pencils. I love these. I use them quite often, and unfortunately they are currently in low inventory, so if you want to catch them while you can. So for the one completely on the left here, I'm going to kind of scribble in my Melon Mambo, kind of go off the edge, kind of in between the two jars. If you don't have watercolor pencils, you can also use your Aqua Painter and your stamps. And then, so there's the Rich Razzleberry in the middle jar. And then I am going to do I'm going to color and scribble the Pacific Point into the last jar. So there is my watercolor. Now the aqua painters come in a 2-pack. You have a smaller one and a larger one. I'm choosing to use the larger one today because I have such a large mat to play with here. Get my scrap paper, my paper towel here. Get it going. Now, unlike a project that I had done earlier, this is the watercolor paper, so it can stand to get just a bit more wet than the Whisper White thick. The Whisper White regular cardstock will also work, but you really have to be careful that you don't get it too juicy, too wet. Otherwise, it disintegrates before your very eyes. Your great disappearing project. Nobody wants that. So now I've got this going pretty good. Smearing the melon mambo around. Working my way over to the rich razzleberry. And then I will go over here to the Pacific Point. I kind of want it to blend in together, but I don't want it to get too blended that it looks funky. That's my technical crafter's term, funky. And if you don't want too much of the colors to blend together, don't forget to clean off your brush before going back in. That's a good way to mess it up too. Not too bad though. Hey, it's a good save. And there we go. We will let this dry for a little bit before we put our tape on the back, our tape runner on the back, and put that on our crumb cake card base. And I will be back. Okay, so we're now all nice and dry. I am going to use my tape runner on the back of this, so in that way I can adhere it to the front of my card and we will be all done. With it being 5.5 inches wide, it goes right across the entire front of the card. It has just a little bit of an overhang of the crumb cake, and so when all is said and done, here you are. You can put a piece of Whisper White if you would like to in here, or you could just stamp your sentiment and write it. Crumb cake is pretty easy to see things through, unless of course you use a crumb cake marker, but even at that, you'll still be able to see it. So I hope you enjoyed this card. If you did, please like and subscribe down below, and be sure to share. I appreciate all the shares. I have underneath in the description below, there is the link to my store, links to my blogs, information as to products used, sizes of cards, dimensions, and also to my store. Thank you, and I hope you love this and have a wonderful rest of your day. Goodbye.